I come with a heavy heart from Nigeria, but first I'd like to apologize to Honorable Kafila Ogbara. I am not here to bring shame to our country. I'm here to seek help for the women of Nigeria. Again, my name is Senator Natasha Akpabio. 5 days ago, on the 6th of March 2025, I was suspended. As a senator, I was suspended illegally because I submitted a petition of sexual harassment against the President of the Nigerian Senate, Senator Godswill Akpabio. I thought that by submitting the petition, he would recuse himself, and both of us will submit ourselves to the Committee on Ethics, Privileges and Public Petition for a fair and transparent investigation. But unfortunately, I was silenced and I was suspended. I was suspended for 6 months, amongst many other stringent conditions, such as taking away my security, taking away all the officials, vehicles, and other items that were handed over to me as a senator. My salaries will be cut off. I must not appear anywhere near the National Assembly. And for 6 months, I'm not to introduce myself or present myself as a senator locally in Nigeria or internationally. That means I'm here illegally. But I had no other place to go but to come here and speak to you women. Because this is a bigger picture. This is a bigger picture. It depicts the crisis of women political representation. My suspension is not just about me. It's about the systemic exclusion.
This is impressive from Senator Natasha Akpabio. She's very brave and courageous. You can't really blame her for taking it to the Inter-Parliamentary Union in New York because she was denied justice by the Nigerian Senate, and now the world has heard about it. Do they really care? Absolutely not. If Akpabio cared one bit about the image of the Senate and Nigeria, the moment Natasha finished that Rights TV interview where she revealed the sexual harassment, Akpabio would have called the Senate leadership, telling them that he takes the accusation very seriously, that he will fight to clear his name. The next day, he would have summoned an executive session in the Senate to discuss it, and on the day Natasha presented her petition, he would have stepped down to allow his deputy to preside. If he followed this process, even if they eventually do mago-mago, many Nigerians would have said, they did their best. But he sat in the Senate and presided over affairs the day his accuser presented a petition against him. He received a petition of sexual harassment against himself. As low as the reputation of Nigeria's judiciary is today, no judge has ever sat in a case against himself. You must recuse yourself, that's the standard. During Buhari's administration, the SSS raided homes of some judges. Some of them that eventually made it to trial, none of them sat in their own case. So why should Akpabio be the judge in his own case? Despite the fact that many Nigerians might blame Natasha for going international with the sexual harassment accusation, she's got no other choice. Besides, the main actors don't give a damn about Nigeria's image. Look at the revelation about the Ethics Committee chairman, how he was accused of fraud and barred from practicing law in the US. So nothing needs to pass under the table for these types to cooperate among themselves. They just do it because they are like minds. The senators cannot say they are not aware we are living in the internet age. Any incident that happens somewhere, someone films it and posts it on social media, the next minute it has gone viral around the world. So they knew that Natasha's Arise TV interview went viral. They would have handled it differently if they cared about Nigeria's image, at least to prove to the world that the leader of a branch of government in Nigeria isn't a sexual predator. Akpabio should be the one calling for an investigation. He should be in a hurry to clear his name, but all they've done is cover up. They make it difficult for reasonable Nigerians to give them a benefit of doubt. If all you've done is to cover up the allegation, make light of the entire situation and be a judge in your own case, then something is wrong. And the saying that you can't shame the shameless stands true in this situation. Akpabio shouldn't even be the presiding officer during the presentation of the disciplinary committee report. Even without Natasha making the sexual harassment accusation against him, he still shouldn't have presided over the disciplinary committee report. This is because of the way he shouted down on Natasha and called the clerk and other security to take her away from the Senate floor. So both of them already clashed before the disciplinary committee report presentation. He should have recused himself so as to make sure his bias doesn't interfere. But he made sure he used his powers to punish Natasha for reasons best known to him. Or is it because it's the Senate? In the private sector and around the world, once you are accused of sexual harassment, you are suspended pending investigation. But here, they just abuse their powers and intimidate the victim. Another way to look at this is that at Akpabio's level, it's even a shame that a married woman is accusing him of sexual harassment. What it means is that he can't get the kind of woman he wants at his level. It's not peculiar to Nigeria. Around the world, pretty women flock around wealthy and powerful men. Women like fun. They like good times. So once you are easygoing, ready to throw money around, ladies will always be at your beck and call. So this is the more reason he should be in a hurry to clear his name, not cover up the accusation. Remember, after the day Natasha revealed that Akpabio has been sexually harassing her on Arise TV, out of the blue, more than 100 persons from Akwa State visited Tinubu in Aso Rock, including Akpabio and the former governor, Udom Emmanuel. By the way, EFCC later invited him to grill him for misappropriating 700 billion naira. After they visited Aso Rock, protests against Natasha spontaneously erupted in Uyo, Akwa State capital. From there to Abuja. In fact, they've been protesting in Abuja since then, and according to Hawa, they were kind of aggressive and sort of fighting because the person that hired them and promised to pay them 1,000 naira each failed to pay them.
All these people were mobilized by Akpabio's people for Akpabio's support. Like even before we could come, I've met thugs everywhere and we're under even serious attack. Even if you go to the other side, there's so much people there, all thugs from this apparel. Akpabio has mobilized before we could even get there.
If this one leaves you speechless, how about these ladies apologizing to Akpabio on behalf of Senator Natasha?
We, the Nigerian Women Crusade for Good Governance, on behalf of well-meaning Nigerian women, tender our deepest and most heartfelt apology to the Senate President.
Can you imagine calling a press conference to do what exactly? Have these people no shame? Seriously, poverty has been weaponized in Nigeria, but people must rise beyond that and stay strong. Anyway, like already said, they make it very hard for reasonable people to give them the benefit of doubt. Akpabio has done the opposite of what an innocent person will do. His latest claim is a miloko, that it is the turn of Niger Delta to be Senate President, that he will fight to finish to retain the seat when people can't compete. When people are facing serious political pressure, they fall back to the trigger that most Nigerians respond to: tribalism. So no one should blame Natasha for going international. After all, the people she's up against don't give a damn about Nigeria's image. This is reminiscent of what happened during the 2023 presidential election tribunal. Tinubu made it very difficult for people to believe him, and he didn't just start during the presidential election campaigns. It started in 1999. He claimed to have attended a secondary school, and the dates he quoted, the school wasn't in existence at the time, plus so many other inconsistencies in his credentials. So this time around, Atiku went to the United States to dig for information, particularly Chicago State University he claimed to have attended. When Tinubu started asking the court not to release his certificates, that it will cause him irreparable damage and other things he told the court through his lawyer, it became obvious he had something to hide, because clear conscience fears no accusation. In the end, the court ordered a release of his certificates, and it became obvious that the one he submitted to INEC didn't come from Chicago State University. But instead of giving up and owning up to what he did like he did during his time as Lagos governor, at that time he claimed that his ally Afikiomi filled the forms for him. That was why there were errors. Instead of giving up, the narrative quickly changed. One APC man went on national TV to say that anyone can print his own certificate. So at that stage, news about the entire forgery, his forfeiture of drug money worth $460,000 to the US government, All of them have gone viral on the internet. Nigerians living abroad with the green passport shared in the shame. But despite the overwhelming evidence that Atiku Abubakar brought from the US court to the Presidential Election Tribunal, imagine a contestant in an election doing the job of INEC and security agencies. At the end of the day, the justices trashed all the evidence and even insulted him on top. They had to overrule several past Supreme Court judgments and in some cases rewrote the Nigerian constitution in order to do what they did. So they knew people around the world were already mocking Nigerians. The image of the country was literally in the mud, but they didn't care. In fact, if you read the tone of the judgment, it seemed as if the justices were at war with the petitioners. They took it personal. It was a serious overreach. There's no way something didn't pass under the table for that to happen. Also, it is the same Supreme Court that rewrote the electoral law for Akpabio to be in the Senate, having been barred by the same law, but the justices found a way to bring him back. Also, litigations from Sim Fubara are stuck at the lower courts. Some of them have been there for more than 6 months before Wike's group filed their own case, but their own case has gone from filing at the lower courts to the Appeal Court and the Supreme Court, while some of the cases filed earlier have not even been assigned to judges. In one of the recent Supreme Court judgments on the status of the 27 defected lawmakers, they delivered judgment on a case not before them. The case is still at the Federal High Court, but they have overruled everyone. So these people don't care about Nigeria's image. All they care about is their selfish interest. Nigerians must know what they are up against going into 2027 election. Every one of them from top to bottom can be defeated and voted out of office. Don't be deceived by the narrative that anyone is too powerful to be defeated. No. Anyone can be defeated. Nigerians have done it before and they can do it again. Thanks for watching.